Sometimes he's right.
Yeah, big kid.
Others, he gets close.
Adam Levine, that's who I'd be.
Levine?
Who? Adam Levine. He's literally a younger Jack Black.
You never know what's gonna happen.
I'd be Kevin Smith, big kid.
You would not be Kevin Smith. Big
Yes, I would. What do you mean?
Not.
Comic book nerd? I look like him?
Smart. Oh, got you there, huh?
Big Nate has you covered with all the hot takes on the newest superhero movies and shows.
Hawkeye's the worst Avenger.
In sports, things can get a little heated.
And strike three called. They haven't been to the World Series since 2000, and the Mets are on their way back.
Up yours.
You're listening to Big Talk with Big Nate.
Big Talk with Big Nate. I got a special guest with me right here, and this is the first kind of YouTube kind of crossover with a podcast that I'm doing right here. So my special guest is TJ Albin of the Daily Goat's very own Cheap Talk Wrestling. How are we doing, my friend? How are we doing?
I mean, I'm doing all right, my friend. I mean, I had a little rough weekend on Sunday. Not to say why, but
Wow.
I know you know why.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen on the Daily Goat, Browns lost.
Yeah.
But,
That's tough.
but you move on from it. You know, there's other stuff. We move on to baseball.
Yeah. Move on to baseball. It's coming in hot.
Move on to your Steve Cohn, big kid. Steve
Yeah,
Cohn.
the New York Cones. Will we get Springer? I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So, you seen any good TV shows lately?
Me, I've been watching WandaVision.
Me too. Me
Been
too. And
watching
that's
a
what
lot
we're
of
going to
that.
talk about right here.
Bring it
about
on.
WandaVision. So for everyone that's unaware, Disney Plus and Marvel Studios was it last Friday, dropped the first two episodes of WandaVision. The first two episodes. And they were good. They were good.
They were.
What's your thought on them? Like, I feel like that they were pretty slow, but they had times where they were really good, and then they both ended really well, but they just flowed really slowly to me.
I mean, I can agree to that, but so for me, coming from a wrestling mind, any story is going to start off slow, right? Because that's the thing is that you don't want to just get to to explain it like in wrestling. You don't want to just go like high spot move, high spot move, high spot move, and then finish, right? You want to have like those kind of rest holds. You want to have all that in your match. But with going for television wise, you don't want to just give the good stuff out in the first two episodes, right? So it's going to start off slow. It always is, but then it builds up to what we're waiting to see. And the fact that it leads up to modern day with WandaVision. Look, it was based in the 60s. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think the first episode was the 50s, second
50s,
one was like
60s,
the
yeah.
60s. The
So
next episode might be the 70s.
yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying is that you're starting from one point to work your way up to that next point.
Yeah.
But I love the way it ended. I love the endings for each one. Really great
they were
stuff,
great.
man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what's to come with Marvel. Very exciting
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's definitely building up to the bigger story. But for me, everyone on Twitter and whatnot was saying, oh, this WandaVision show was so boring. Like, for me, I feel like they had what they really wanted to do was have it feel like a sitcom and have that kind of feel. And obviously, they don't want to give away too much in the first couple of episodes of what the plot's going to be. But if it's so much not like a superhero show, I would want it to at least be somewhat entertaining throughout the entire thing. Like, for me, it was just it was not superhero-y at all, besides a couple moments here or there, and it was pretty slow, and I feel like that it was kind of a letdown. But I'm sure with how the second episode ended, with where the story seems to be going, it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be great.
Well, like the way I'll reference it, and to give an example that I noticed, if you look at like Batman v Superman, right? You have it's a 2-hour movie, longer than 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, like
Correct
2.5
me if I'm wrong.
hours.
Yeah. You have a 2.5-hour movie to build this rivalry between Batman and Superman, right? To finally get that, that story climax that we've all been waiting for. And then it's a 5-minute thing, and then you got them two teaming up against Doomsday. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I am terrible with the names and whatnot. I just know that
it was Doomsday.
there was a bad guy in the movie. I'm kidding. But all seriousness, that's that's anything, you know, you'll want to build your character. Like we've seen Wanda in many different movies for Marvel, but now that she's getting her own MCU Disney Plus spinoff, now you need to establish the character and what she can do and build the relationship up between Wanda and Vision. Not only that, bring in some more characters and bring in some more faces into the story, right? We don't know, like, I mean, I truthfully don't know who's messing, like, you know, because we're trying to like in the show, you're still trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? Why is this happening, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'm not spoiling. If you haven't already watched it yet, I hope I'm not
We can
spoiling.
talk some spoilers.
What's that?
We can talk some spoilers.
Yeah, we can talk some spoilers.
Yeah.
I know one guy that hasn't watched it yet.
Pombo.
We talked to him last night. Yeah. He's still waiting to watch it.
Yeah.
I feel bad if he listens to this and then next thing you know, he like gives us a text or a call saying, yeah, oh my God, you guys spoiled it for me. Now I can't watch it. Blah, 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 blah.
Everybody died in the end of the first episode, Pombo.
Everyone dies, Jay. Everybody dies.
Thanos comes out of nowhere and kills them all.
Just does one more snap one more snap in the shadows. But yeah, like I said, it's a process. You know, we have 2 episodes that have come out for the MCU for WandaVision, right? We're basing it off of 2 episodes out of 9. Correct me if I'm wrong.
9, yeah.
Yep. Out of 9. We're going to see more. We're going to see more action in these shows. We're going to see more of a story being built off of this. And I think over time, I think we're going to start to see what a lot of people have been asking for, not that slow pace. We're going to see some high stuff going on. So, you know, it's just, like I said, slow and steady. It wins every race. Slow and steady wins every race.
Yeah.
And in this case, you want to hold off.
Yeah. And I was reading something earlier today where Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, she was asked about the main villain. Was asked if the main villain is gonna have a big presence throughout the series, and she said that the villain doesn't show up until towards the end. Like that's gonna be interesting. Like they're not gonna have it be where like we see the main villain very soon and then keep on seeing those kind of stuff. Like it's kind of like a mystery kind of where like we're not really sure who the villain is.
You don't give away the goods at the beginning. You never give away. You give it away because if you give it away, then it's like, okay, I've already seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I've already seen it. I already know who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
We already know at the end of the day, okay, oh, Wanda's coming out on top. Oh my goodness. You know, that's any, well, except for Infinity War. Everybody knew that. But everybody knows that there's always that hero's ending, right? There's always that. And that's my thing. Like I love to watch these stories. I love to watch these movies these shows because not all the time it's that way, but the stories are great to watch and build off of with like what they're doing with the MCU universe, right? Because it ties it all together. That's what I love. That's what I really like is that everything ties together with these stories. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
they do a really great job. MCU does a really great job of building their stories and building their characters.
They do, yeah, and that's why I have a lot of faith in them in making the show great. And they've said many times that it's gonna connect and lead directly into Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange 2 in the Multiverse of Madness. So, and Wanda's playing a supporting character in the Doctor Strange sequel. And they're filming it right now too. So I'm very excited to see how it all tie in. Have you gotten a chance to read my WandaVision article yet that dropped last Thursday?
I've been very busy with a lot of different stuff.
Okay.
I'll be honest. So if you don't listen to Cheap Talk Wrestling, I have been in an argument with my editor of my show. He calls me. Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Not like you know, F this, F that.
Say whatever you want, big kid.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I should ask before. That is on me, rookie mistake. But guy calls me a jackass at 4:00 in the morning. Guy texts me saying, "Hey, here's your show, jackass," and I'm like, "Really?" Wow. So like we're in a little bit of a thing. If you listen to Cheap Talk Wrestling, you'll know why. Hopefully you do. If you don't, now you have a reason to go listen to it because every week I'm talking about my editor, how he talks shit to me over text at 4:00 in the morning after he's done editing my stuff.
Wow.
But that's what I deal with on a consistent basis with that guy. But that's
ridiculous.
That's here nor there, but I've been in constant conversation left and right with a lot of different people. I have read a couple different articles on the Daily Go. Unfortunately, at the moment, I have not read yours. I do apologize, but
No problem.
I will. I'm gonna.
You will really like it. So when you have the moment, definitely check it out. I talk about like all my theories for the show. I'll get into some of them. I talk about the villain too, because me, I love a good villain. I was a big Thanos guy.
Oh, same. Oh, same, dude. I love the character. I love the villain.
Great character. So I kind of go into who I think could be the villains and whatnot. There's been rumor that the villain of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness is going to be this character called Nightmare, who was basically Marvel's version of Freddy Krueger. You a Nightmare on Elm Street fan?
Really?
Yeah, like he kind of invades people's dreams. He doesn't kill them. He just scares the living hell out of them. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a what's his face from Spider-Man, but without the
Mysterio.
Yeah, Mysterio.
A little bit, yeah. A little
almost, but not the same.
Yeah, and like he'll literally like create fabrications of worlds in people's minds with nightmares. In the past, he's done that in the comics. So I really think that maybe this is Nightmare. And we hear it in the end of the first episode, a lot in the second episode. We kind of saw that organization that was on like a TV monitor and watching the show, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that little toy helicopter that flew down?
Yep.
And had that sword logo on it?
Yeah.
There's this agency in Marvel, which is like S.H.I.E.L.D., but it's for space, called SWORD.
Yeah.
Where they like track down like just alien stuff basically, or like paranormal stuff, sci-fi kind of stuff. And
so do you think that's their little not to cut you off either, so my apologies.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
But is that their kind of way to kind of Easter egg their way into WandaVision or even into the MCU?
I think it's both. I think it's both. And in the trailer, you've seen the trailer, I assume, for the whole series. Remember the Asian guy who was running around?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's Jimmy Woo, who's from Ant-Man.
Yep.
From Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Yeah.
Now he's presumably a SWORD agent. So
really,
it's gonna be interesting. So I really think that maybe, and we heard one agent guy saying like, "Who's doing this to you, Wanda?" Stuff like that. I think maybe she's kind of in like a trance, kind of, or something like that, on some table, and she's imagining this world. And I think maybe like Nightmare just like petrified her, and she's just living in the dream world.
It's gonna be interesting. It's know, there's always like Marvel has their way of, I'll put it as a wrestling term, booking their characters or processing their characters through their stories, right? Mm-hmm. And in this case, I'll say they are not the best, but they're one of the best at doing that. They're tying their stories together, tying using the comics as an example, using their comics to their disposal. They add some stuff, correct me for they add a lot of different stuff, but they try to stay true to the comics.
Oh yeah.
It's great to see that. And, for a comic book fan like yourself, I'll be honest, I never read the comics. I just got more into the movies.
Oh yeah. I respect that.
I stayed away from reading. Because I'd rather enjoy it on the big screen.
Oh yeah. I get that.
But watching it and just seeing it, I can only imagine like reading it and then like thinking about it, or just even looking at the illustrations that you see off of it is very, very interesting.
Oh yeah, like totally for me, like seeing like that's why like everyone thinks I'm crazy whenever someone asks me like, what's your ranking of the MCU movies, and I have the original Avengers in my top 3.
Yeah,
I do, because just at that time when I was like 13, 14, just seeing the Avengers live action, I was like, wow. Like I never thought that I'd see that, and just seeing them on screen from like always reading them in comics was just wicked cool.
No, it is. It is, because I mean, having these mega stars like these superheroes coming together, I think that was one of the first. That was the first. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Yeah. Like anytime, just tell me you're wrong. Just do me a favor. If I'm wrong, to be like this, cut me off and just say you're wrong, you son of a gun.
Well, you're right. You're right. It was the first, man.
All right, I'm heading out of here then. I'm right. I'm going to leave while I'm on top. But no, so with Marvel, like doing that, it broke a lot of different like molds, right? With bringing together different stories, bringing together different storylines in like with Captain America being the first Avenger, and with Iron Man, with Black Widow, Hulk. Even though we didn't get to see Hulk, the Disney MCU version, we saw something different. But it's still tied in together. But I believe it. To be honest, I didn't even watch the Hulk.
It was
I
okay.
have not. It was okay. All right, so I didn't miss out on anything.
No.
I didn't miss out on anything. That's all that matters. But having them tie all together and then do this a couple different times afterwards to use that as a base and still be like in your top three, right? I don't know. Like for me, it's Captain America. For me, my top three, it goes Civil War, it goes Iron Man 3, and then Infinity War.
Okay.
That's my top three. I would say right now, just
top
off the top
three,
of my head.
My top three would be Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Probably Infinity War, and then the Avengers.
Okay. That's still a great top three.
Yeah. Everyone's is different, which I really like.
See, the one thing I know we had the one thing I will say, the last conversation that we had on Big Talk, we talked about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We talked about Spider-Man 3. I still don't like Andy Garfield, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like whatever Sony did with that Spider-Man trilogy, I just didn't get into it. I love Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, but I even love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. He's doing great.
Yeah.
He's doing good for the character. Not to switch off, but like to go into what we talked about last time with these top threes, or where do you rank them? And just they're not that's like correct me if I'm wrong, they have been in talk, like Andy Garfield, Tobey Maguire have been in talks with Marvel about doing having them on screen in the Spider-Man 3, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been reported that they both might return for Spider-Man 3. And they have a lot of actors and actresses coming back already for that movie, so having those two back would be pretty huge.
Now, any other news on that? Any new news on that? I know last time we talked about it a lot, but
have you seen the Daredevil show on Netflix?
No.
That's a Marvel show. I highly recommend that you see. It's not completely tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it kind of is, kind of isn't. So about a month and a half ago, it was reported that Charlie Cox, who plays the character Daredevil, was going to be returning to play the character in Spider-Man 3.
Really?
And just earlier over the weekend, it was reported that he's finished filming.
Really?
It's for there. Nothing from any major sources or whatnot. But when it was talked about him being cast in the movie, some major news outlets were talking about it. So and Kevin Feige, you of course know Feige.
Yep.
Yeah, he was asked last week, is there any truth to Charlie Cox coming back in the MCU? And he did a big pregnant pause for like 7 or 10 seconds. Didn't say anything. He was smirking a little bit and kind of laughing, and he just walked off the comment. So I definitely think he's returning. And he's a lawyer by day. The character. And obviously with Peter Parker and some legal issues now for the murder.
I can see it. So I love MCU's way of not having spoilers. I like that. I really do, because they care about the fan interaction with it, right? They care about your attention to that movie.
Yeah, and they don't let anything leak. Which
exactly, because now you see. Because with social media now, you see it. You see it a lot. You see, like, to use wrestling as an example, like if something's taped, spoiler alert, you don't even have to watch it. Here's what happens. It's a breakdown, right, of every match, every story, what's going to happen. Because a lot of companies do that. Yeah. But going into movies wise, hey, like you're on a big set. You're on a big set, and it's like it's not to say it's not noticed.
Yeah,
it is. You're gonna have people being nosy about it. Be like, hey, what's going on? Let me poke my head over there. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're gonna see crowds form, because then you hear about stars coming in. You hear about stars coming to your town. Like take with Fall River when Leonardo DiCaprio showed up. Right, everybody was waiting for him to come to Fall River.
Leonardo DiCaprio came to Fall River.
Yeah, Leo. Yeah, he filmed over at Battleship Cove in Fall River.
Wow, what movie was this for that he filmed?
Netflix, something on Netflix.
Wow. Oh, was it The Irishman?
No,
No,
not the no, he wasn't.
in that.
Leo
No, he wasn't
DiCaprio.
in that.
No, that was the Irishman was
No, yeah, it was
Robert
no,
De
it was no one that like him.
yeah, De Niro, right?
Yeah, it was De Niro.
No, but with Leo, he arrived in Boston. They filmed in Boston with Jonah Hill, with Ariana Grande. I might be off on names, but
Wow.
I'm not really. Here's my thing. I don't look at I just know what I read on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I just read off that,
Okay.
and I'm like, oh, okay, great. So when I found out that, I went to Fall River, and like they right down by Battleship Cove. They
Are you
closed
from Fall
off.
River?
No, I'm from Somerset. No, like it's just across the river.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
across,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's for
I'm
me,
losing
it's
it.
a 5-minute drive
Yep.
to Battleship. Where you live? Where do you live, Big Nate? Huh? Since we're asking where people live.
Glastonbury, Connecticut. It's a very boring town.
All right, you heard it here, folks.
Not as fun as Somerset.
Send him some gifts. Send him
Oh,
some
yeah.
nice gifts. Speaking of gifts, I'll go back to the Leo story in a second.
I remember what you did
What did
my
you-
freshman year.
What did I do freshman year?
Was that you?
What did I do? I didn't do anything. Did I?
Somebody
What did I do with you freshman? I met you once
sent
freshman
my
year with
home
my buddy Jay.
address, something really bad on Amazon. And
No,
thought
I
it
didn't
was
do that.
you. Yeah,
No.
might have been my.
Why would I do that?
It might have been. I think Pombo was there. It was Seth. That's it. Seth. He used my Amazon.
Always blame
Echo.
Seth.
He used my Amazon Echo, and he ordered some weird stuff on Amazon. They came to my house. We'll talk about it.
Seth,
off
what are you
camera,
doing,
but
big kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seth, what are you doing, big kid? No, but for those, if you don't follow him, if you don't follow Nate, I sent him a nice ornament for him and his newfound love over there. Like a nice little like coming together ornament, huh?
Yeah.
For you and Steve. You and Steve Cohn, big
Cohn.
kid.
My
You
second
and
father.
Steve.
Yeah. It's a cool ornament too. It's a very cool ornament.
It's very nice. It was
Yeah.
very nice. I dude, trust me. As soon as I'm not kidding. So I'll tell you the story. So when we were talking about like forming the Daily Go, right? And I told Jay, I said, no, I want to do something. I want to do something funny, right? And he goes, what are you thinking? I'm like, I don't know. I want to send someone a gift. And he goes, no. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna send Big Nate something. He's like, what are you gonna send him? I'm like, I'll find something. I'll find something. I'll find like I'll Photoshop a picture of him and Steve Cohn together. And I say, you know what? That's it. That's that's not gonna come out good. So I said, all right, you know what? Next best thing is an ornament. So I said, okay. So I'm like, all right, let me go find an ornament. So I go to Dartmouth Mall, which is about a 45-minute drive from me. And I drive over and grab an ornament. I look at the ornaments. I'm looking at this whole shelf of ornaments. And okay, so mind you, because of the pandemic, there was a toilet paper ornament.
Okay.
I was gonna get you that, but then it fell. Like, I'm not kidding. I was holding it,
You dropped
and
it,
I was
bro?
with what's that? I dropped the ornament,
Oh my. Yeah.
and I apologized. I'm like, oh, like, do you need me to pay for it? She's like, no, don't worry about it. We have too much. I'm like, yeah, you probably do have too much of this ornament. Let's be real. So anyway, so I see that one. I see the ornament that I got you, the couple, and I said, no, I gotta get. And you know what the best thing was?
What's that?
When I bought that ornament, Jason was in the mall with. It wasn't with me, but I saw him in the mall, and I called him up and said, get your butt over here. I have to show you this ornament I'm getting, Big Nate.
Oh my.
And I buy it, got it for you, sent it off. I said,
Wow.
yep. Yeah, man.
Well, it's a legendary ornament, big kid, and I appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
It'll be
Anytime.
one of the go-to ornaments for years after Steve Cohn wins us a couple World Series.
That will be a go-to right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So let's get back into WandaVision. What is
Yeah, please.
What is your favorite moment from the show so far? There hasn't been much, but yeah, is there a certain scene that stuck out to you?
The magic trick scene where
Yeah, the whole talent show episode.
yeah,
like
mhm,
the whole talent show part.
mhm.
That's why.
Yeah. So when like Vision has like the gum in his system, it's like screws him up, makes him almost like act like he's drunk a little bit.
Yeah,
But then it's like in reality, it's just just because of like something's going on with his system.
yeah,
And him flying, oh my god, him lifting the piano like nothing, and then with Wanda like coming up with the rope, it looked like a classic TV show.
it did.
It looked like a classic TV show, and then it's like in reality, it's just it's fresh. It's 2020, and I loved it. I loved how it was in black and white.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that Marvel was thinking of that or doing that because it just shows the adaptation of television, how it
Yeah, and
started.
how it's so different from the other Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Too.
And how it was going. Yeah, exactly. So with them doing that and then trying to get away after, it was just like the hilarious part that I thought was good. Them winning best comedy act.
Oh yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed that part. The one thing I will say about like, the camera work and everything like that was you knew when it was okay for television, right? To make it make it look like a sketch comedy, like anything on the show. But then you had those reality points where it's like, okay, like in the first episode where he's like where Vision's boss is choking and she keeps saying stop it, and you can see like in her eyes like the reality of it, even though it's like, okay, it's a television show. But yeah, like when Vision has to reach in and grab whatever he was choking on, it just was a reality part of it and then goes back to being a comedy.
Yeah.
Same thing with what other scene was it? Oh, same thing with the ending, right? Same thing with the ending of the second episode where you have this guy in this full hazmat suit coming out, right? They're trying to have that perfect TV show ending. Next thing you know, that happens, right? You have that sense of reality or their reality, I should say, coming into play into this universe or this world that she's in, this trance that she's in, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you see it play out, and you see how this story does play into, okay, what's going to happen next, and then you have like, what is it? Like the blood on, oh my God, what was her name? What was
Dottie?
it? Dottie. Thank you. On Dottie's hand, like, okay, it's a different color than everything else. It turns fully red, right? Same thing with the little helicopter that landed in her driveway.
There was color to them.
It was color. It was color to her. Yeah, it wasn't black and white. It became full color. There's those reality points where it's like everything looks like it's scripted as a show, and then you have those hits of reality. Take kind of reminds me of like did you ever watch The Truman Show with Jim Carrey?
No.
So really, if you have a second, go watch it. The Truman Show is about a guy who's in this dome of a world, and he's been there since he was a kid, and it's a 24-hour television show of his life, or his scripted life, right? And then next thing you know, like he's starting to notice as he gets older, he starts to notice that like everything's like happening for certain ways and for certain reasons. He goes into a store, everybody's watching or following him, or it's like someone leaves, they never come back, and he's only been there. He's only been in that world. Or if he tries to leave, something happens. It's kind of like that playing into effect. I'm telling you right now, if you go watch that and then go watch WandaVision, you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean. It's almost similar to everything that we've watched in 2 episodes.
Oh wow.
I give you my word. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Go watch it. It's really good. It's a really good movie to watch. I thought it was really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my favorite scene would probably be in the second episode when Wanda's talking to Dottie, and you hear on that radio like, why are you here, Wanda? Why are you here?
What's going on? Yeah, exactly.
And then Dottie kind of like she's like, who are you? She's kind of freaking out and whatnot. I like that a lot because it definitely kind of shows us more so that no one's supposed to be in this world. They all seem like they were taken from their lives and just plucked here in this fake world, living fake lives. So it's gonna be cool to see who's pulling the strings. In my article I go over a couple of the villains I think that could be popping up, but I think it's Nightmare. If they're tying it in directly into the Doctor Strange sequel, I definitely think that it's going to be him or her. I think Agnes could possibly be the villain.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That's the thing is that you can there's no with this series you don't necessarily see what's going to happen. You don't know that villain's going to be. Yeah. You know that with everything else, like with movies and whatnot, they do give you that sense.
Oh yeah, well, and they like market it up into the movies and whatnot. Now, if a show's like this, you don't need to market who the villain is. It can be a huge surprise.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
And with
beauty
Moon Knight,
of
with the Moon Knight show that you and I were
Yeah.
talking about recently, they cast Ethan Hawke as the main villain.
that. I'm excited for.
That's
That's gonna be
huge.
really good.
And Oscar Isaac is playing Moon Knight, so they have a couple of big, heavy-hitting actors on this TV show.
They do.
Hyped about it. A couple years back, Ethan Hawke famously was asked in an interview promoting, I think it was The Purge, the first Purge movie from the early 2010s, right when Marvel was starting to pick up with their movies, and Henry Cavill was just cast as Superman. He was asked, "Would you want to be in a superhero movie?" And he said, "Superheroes aren't really they aren't really my style. I don't really want to be in one." Now here he is, about 10 years.
Now look at him now,
playing the main villain in one of the TV shows.
Everybody turns the corner. Everybody turns a corner, because when you see, so here's the thing, it's all about one thing, that money, and also leaving that legacy in movies or in your acting career, right?
And Marvel is I don't mean to interrupt you, but real quick, like with Marvel, it's really interesting because they got Cate Blanchett, who played the main villain in Thor Ragnarok. Now they have Christian Bale playing the main villain in Thor: Love and Thunder, and Matt Damon. Matt Damon has just joined the cast.
Matt Damon was in Thor Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, he played a very small character. So with this role, I'm assuming it's somebody new. It might be a big supporting character, maybe, or a supporting villain.
That's what you hope.
Yeah,
that's what you hope. That's the thing, is that like these actors now think it's cool to do that, or think it's cool to not to say cool, but it sounds weird when it sounds weird to say it like that, to like seem cool, because it feels like you're in high school.
You're just like clicky, kind of like it's like
it is.
Everyone loves them, so of course I'll join to make some money.
That's all. It's about the money. It's about what you're adding to your resume, and it's about just having that like mentality to be like, okay, I'll take something on and I'll work with it. But then again, you also had, like you brought up, the guy said originally, I would never do him, like, not to say he never did, but he's like, I'm all set with it. Right. Now you have him kind of going against it because he's seeing the dollar signs. He's seeing that. That's anybody.
Popularity and whatnot.
That's what it is, dude. It's a, I don't want to say cult following, but it is a massive following.
Yeah.
And
it's a TV show that he's joining too, which is even more fascinating because it's a superhero thing and it's TV. Like, I know, like, every now and then big actors and big actresses that are in movies will be on TV shows, but not often do you see like an elite actress or actor go on to a TV show. Not that Ethan Hawke's elite, but he's one of the big names in Hollywood for movies. Every year it seems like he's coming out with something new. And I was going to be the main villain on a TV show, which is going to be 8 to 10 episodes. So,
and then you got Christian Bale joining, like you brought up.
Oh yeah,
and he was in Batman.
Yeah, he played Batman.
I don't want to say he's the first. I don't want to say he's the first to go, like, to make the jump from one to the other. I know there's been others.
Oh, he's not the first.
Like, no, he's not the first, but there's been others. The villain from Spider-Man: Far From Home. What was his name?
Vulture. Michael Keaton. He played Batman.
Michael Keaton played Batman, the original, the 1989 Batman. And the only reason I know about this is because, like, I had a friend. Anytime I would see him, he would tell me, "Think about the future," and it's like you know what line I'm talking about in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, where the joke, like, you get what I mean. But yeah, that's the only reason I know of that movie, and I watch that movie now because of that one line, because it's like, it was just something that me and my buddy we would just like make fun of, not make fun of, but just build that relationship. We would talk about, yeah. So anytime I saw him, I said, "Hey, think about the future." It just bust his chops, but you know how it is.
Yeah,
like, I bust yours. I bust your chops, big kid.
Oh yeah, everyone busts my chops. I'm a good man.
You hear CT? Do you listen to my podcast yet?
Your new one, I haven't been able to listen to it yet.
Go listen to it. I'm not going to tell you why. Just go listen to it.
Okay.
It's a good rep.
Let me guess. Dylan predicts that the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
Really?
Well, I mean, I know he's gonna.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, if they win, so we recorded that Friday before the NFC weekend.
Oh yeah.
Like the big divisional weekend.
Mhm.
But I know he's got it, set, ready to go. Packers are gonna win.
Yep.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Hey, my team's out, so it's like I'm hoping to see. I would love to see Tom in another Super Bowl, but then again, I would also like to see Aaron Rodgers in another Super Bowl as well. So it's kind of like that rivalry, that matchup. I'm ready to see.
I wanted
And
to
then
see
with-
Breeze badly in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I wanted that so badly. Now he's retiring.
Well, that's what everybody thinks.
I think he will.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Once
Yeah.
off season hits, then we would officially find out. Then again, we never thought Tom Brady would leave the Patriots.
That's
And look
true.
what he did.
Maybe Breeze will come to the Jets.
You and the Jets. What did you bring up yesterday? Who do you want? Who do you think is coming to the Jets?
Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is going to the Jets.
You heard it here, folks.
Right here first,
Big
everybody.
Nate thinks Deshaun Watson's coming.
Yeah.
You guys blew that first pick. You blew it.
We did, yeah. Adam Gase, biggest clown in the history of New York.
I mean, it's a hard thing. It's like you want to have that pride to say that you won a game, but then it's also kind of like you're at the ending
Shot
point of the
yourself in the
season
foot.
where you did. At that
Yeah.
point, you shot yourself in the foot. If you had a fighting chance in the beginning, then I would say, okay, keep fighting to get that win into the playoffs. But at this point, when it was halfway into the season, I think it was more than halfway into the season.
Oh, yeah.
Correct
It
me
was
if-
like
yeah.
with 4 weeks left in the season.
Yeah. Now you decide to pick up that win. I mean,
Crazy.
it's what it is now. It's what it is
Yeah.
now. You shot yourself in the foot. Now they got what, second pick?
Second pick, yeah.
And then third is Miami.
Third is
Because
Miami.
of,
Yeah,
because of Houston.
Yeah. And then fourth
because
is the
of-
Falcons. And then fifth is the Bengals.
That's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good season.
Yeah.
Next year's gonna be a good season. I think it's gonna
It
be a
is,
good
yeah.
season. We're gonna see a lot of great talent coming up.
Yeah. I feel like the Jets are going to make big strides. They got their
You
new
think
head
so?
coach, Robert Saleh. Everybody loves him.
Yeah.
He put his coaching staff together today, and everyone's been talking up a lot about it, how it's really great, and how the Jets haven't had a coaching staff like this in years. So I've heard that before when we had Todd Bowles, when we had Rex Ryan for a little bit. I'll be the judge of that when I see it, but it's definitely exciting. It's
I
definitely
gotta
exciting.
ask you,
What's
as
that?
a
Right on.
young, or I should say a mini Nate, not a big Nate, a mini Nate
Okay.
or a little Nate. But I want to ask you, what was it like to have like the Rex Ryan like era for the Jets
Oh,
as a Jets fan?
it was confusing beyond belief because I didn't start becoming a huge football fan. Like I was always big baseball, but I didn't start becoming a huge football fan until like 09. And that was like right. The Jets were great. Jets were great from 09 to 2011. They were a really good team.
Yep.
Do back-to-back AFC title games. So
Mhm.
I was a happy Jets fan. I was happy. We had Mark Sanchez. I thought it was a great quarterback. And then in 2012, the butt fumble. And then really fumbled our team for years. We then had Geno Smith, who I really wanted the Jets to draft, and I cried when we got him in the second round at West Virginia. I loved the guy. I loved Geno Smith in college. I loved him. I was a huge Geno Smith fan. How did he play in the NFL, TJ? How did he play? Yeah, it was terrible. So it was.
He had a couple.
It was
He
an
had
interesting-
a couple games.
He
had
did.
couple.
He had a few
He
games.
couple.
Yeah, Rex Ryan had a couple of years, so he was great, and then some really bad years and bad years since. So it's been rough being a Jets fan, but in Robert Saleh I trust, and Joe Douglas I trust. If they go with Sam Darnold as the quarterback next year, you want to hear a hot take right here, TJ? You want to hear a hot
Let me
take
hear.
from me
Let me
right
hear.
now?
I was actually gonna ask. What do you think?
Sam Darnold will be the most improved player. Comeback
think so?
player of the year. I feel like he's going to make huge strides.
You think so?
Gigantic strides. We're going to draft Devonta Smith. We're going to trade that first round pick, the second overall pick, to the Bengals for the fifth overall pick. They're going to draft an offensive tackle. We're going to draft Devonta Smith, a Heisman winner out of Alabama.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
And they have the 23rd overall pick. We're going to draft Najee Harris, another Alabama guy.
I hope it happens for you, brother. I hope it happens for you.
I got the Mets playing great. I have the Mets great now. The Knicks are playing great. The Islanders are looking great. Why not the Jets too? Why not the Jets?
What about Brooklyn, big kid? What about Brooklyn? Brooklyn, big kid.
Nets. Brooklyn Nets. As soon as they get Kyrie Irving off that team is when they'll be great.
No, you don't like Kyrie?
Oh, don't even get me started on Kyrie Irving.
I mean, we're here on Big Talk. Come on, Big Nate, let me hear it. Come on, I want to hear it. I gotta hear it live.
I despise Kyrie Irving. Everything that he is just what people should not try to be.
Sometimes he's right.
Yeah, big kid.
Others, he gets close.
Adam Levine, that's who I'd be.
Levine?
Adam Levine. He's literally a younger Jack Black.
You never know what's going to happen.
I'd be Kevin Smith, big kid.
You would not be Kevin Smith, big kid.
Yes, I would. What do you mean?
None.
Comic book nerd? I look like him?
Smart. Oh, got you there, huh?
Big Nate has you covered with all the hot takes on the newest superhero movies and shows.
Hawkeye's the worst Avenger.
In sports, things can get a little heated.
And strike three called. They haven't been to the World Series since 2000, and the Mets are on their way back.
Up yours.